Welcome to this quick tutorial on how to use ChatGPT to become a better Python programmer and improve your software development skills no matter your level. I'm your host, Amplify with AI, and today we're going to explore how ChatGPT can help you write clean and efficient code. So imagine you're a junior software developer, you're excited to start your coding journey, but you encounter some common pain points, and those could include syntax errors. You can often struggle with these, and you might need a sharp eye catching these. You might also struggle with optimization. Your code might work, but it's spaghetti code and it has performance issues. You might also have trouble adhering to the best practices. You might not always know what they are and how to implement them. And finally, you might not know about design patterns, how to implement them, and that's where ChatGPT can come in handy. So let's first start off by seeing how ChatGPT can help with catching syntax errors that sometimes will require an extremely sharp and trained eye. A pro tip is always include the error message and include the stack trace if you can for faster and more accurate help. So in this code, you're trying to create a list of even numbers that are less than 5, but there's a subtle mistake in the list comprehension. It's a rather advanced Python problem that might not be easy to spot at first. So to fix this, you want to copy the code just into ChatGPT the way I have with the triple backticks. This is a code block in Markdown format, which ChatGPT can understand. And then I've pretty much described the issue here and given the error here, the unexpected else. Now, once I hit this send button, it will provide me with the fixed code and an explanation for why that fix was implemented. Cool, so you got the answer here. And that's one way of using ChatGPT to improve your Python skills. And make sure to read the explanation that ChatGPT provides as well in order to build a solid understanding. You don't want to just copy and paste code if you're trying to become a better programmer. Next, let's talk about code optimization. Whenever you're dealing with a slow program or just want to make your code more efficient, ChatGPT can provide suggestions and optimizations. And here a pro tip would be provide some context about your code and the problem that you're trying to solve for better optimization suggestions. Now let's tackle a performance optimization challenge here. Now you're developing an images processing application and one of your functions seems slow when processing large images. So here's an example of that code. So you have a double nested for loop. So let's send that to ChatGPT. And here it suggests to use NumPy, which usually is the way to go whenever you're doing these type of calculations. And this does count as a optimization. Now you can see that ChatGPT is starting to become more helpful with the recommendations it can provide to improve your code. It can get pretty advanced. So now let's talk about the best practices. You can use ChatGPT to tap into the collective experience of the developer community with its best practices when using Python. And it can guide you on following the best coding standards and the industry best practices. And it can even provide code examples to illustrate these principles. And a pro tip is always ask for code examples when learning best practices for a more clear understanding. So let's explore best practices in this data science project that I have set up in this scenario. Imagine you're working on a machine learning model and you want to adhere to the best practices for model evaluation and most importantly documentation. So here's how ChatGPT can help. You want to describe that you want to follow the best practices for evaluating and documenting machine learning models and to apply those practices to this piece of Python code. And once we pass this in, we can see that ChatGPT gives us these best practices up here and then goes on to apply those best practices providing documentation using these try except blocks to make sure that there's error handling and all sorts of stuff. And we also get a summary of what was improved on, so that we can learn as well on how we can improve our own code. So in addition to debugging, optimization, and following best practices, ChatGPT can also help you with design patterns. And a pro tip here is that you can use ChatGPT to guide you in choosing the most suitable design pattern for your specific scenario. So suppose you're developing a scalable microservices architecture for a high traffic e-commerce platform. And you want to implement the best design patterns that there are for managing communication between these microservices. here's how ChatGPT can help you out. So what you want to do is describe what you want, and in this case is a design pattern for managing communication. And then I ask it for some pseudocode that to apply it to my own Python code. And this Python code is just a couple of classes with some functions that are meant to be in the microservices architecture. So now we can send this to even GPT 3.5 and you can get the answer that it should be a message broker and queue type of architecture, and in this case it does. That is the recommended design pattern for communication between microservices, and it's good to see that it's able to get that correctly. Now, it's your call to action. Start using ChatGPT today to improve your Python skills. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or if you have 5, 10 years of experience. There is ways you can find ChatGPT valuable at your fingertips. And here are some more resources that you can use to enhance your skills. Check out the OpenAI documentation for more about ChatGPT, Python, obviously for Python, and Stack Overflow for just general programming questions. Now, I hope these examples best demonstrate how ChatGPT can help assist you in various complex coding challenges. Whether you're debugging, optimizing, following best practices, implementing design patterns, ChatGPT is your go-to companion for tackling these non-trivial tasks. Thank you for tuning in into this quick guide on using ChatGPT, and remember, the more you practice and leverage this powerful tool, the closer you'll get to writing clean and efficient code like a pro. Happy coding.